Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Facebook. I'm hoping some of the people that were supposed to be here are on Facebook, so appreciate all you guys coming out, braving the weather. Of course, it's better now, and it's going to be in a few days, but just appreciate that. So, first things first, if we have any first-time guests, I appreciate you. I'm not going to make you introduce yourself or anything, but appreciate you being here. Tonight's schedule should be a good one. Commissioner Stewart's going to lead up with all the good news that I'm sure he's ready to pass on. We have our new District 3 Liaison Officer, Corporal Milton Sumter, here. Nice to meet you. Sorry I couldn't talk to you earlier. And then last but certainly not least, we have a crew from the Warriors on Water. And I'm going to let them explain what that's about, but it sounds like a very neat story, the little bit I've heard so far. So, if you have questions, please, I'll come around with that microphone. That's the only way that people on Facebook can hear the question, so it really helps them out. We do store that Facebook video, so if you go home and want to share something with a neighbor or friend, whatever, it's always there to watch right on our Facebook page. So. With that being said, hopefully everybody got the handout. All the information is on that about our speakers tonight. And if you look on the back page, that is all of our business members that help us stay going. So I also wanted to throw a few welcomes out there. I see Samuel Chambers in the audience. Thank you. I see Wes Hodge in the audience. Thank you. Bill Jennings, the Historical Society leader. So appreciate you being here. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Stewart and all his good news.
The good news is we're doing great right now. Bad news is I won't be able to tell you how we're going to be doing in a few days. I am old enough to remember Hurricane Donna, and old enough to have lived through all the rest of the ones that we've had. They are expecting the same kind of winds as Hurricane Donna. Let me cover a couple of things briefly, and then some good questions you may have. So, hurricane stuff. If you're not on the City of Orlando Facebook page, you need to get on it as quick as you can, okay? If you don't want to do that one, you get on my Facebook page, and if you don't like Facebook, you can go to Instagram, it's fine. The city has also a Twitter, and so do I. And we're feeding as much as we can to social media because it's just the fastest way to get information out there, okay? If you're on those pages, you'll also see my e-blast, because I'm now doing an e-blast to everybody who asks. I don't put people on that list without asking. I have you volunteer to be on there. So if you want to be on there, send me an email, I'll stick you on there. But that same data is on Facebook, so you can get to that right away. And just, I don't remember what the Facebook addresses are, but you could go to the City of Orlando, orlando.gov. I think it's District 3, and then when you get there, just click on the Facebook logo, and you'll get to one of those things. Get that on your phone as quick as you can. Okay. If you just think it's all stupid to do all that, go to your browser on your phone and put in orlando.gov and save it as a bookmark. Okay, because that will get you. That we'll be sending everything we send out. Will also go there. So if you don't like Facebook and you're kind of weird about it, I'm okay with that. But you can go orlando.gov, and the first thing on that page will be Hurricane Milton stuff. All right. So please do that. Sandbags is a big deal. Everybody's talking about sandbags, and the county is doing that, and I'm glad they're doing that because you all pay county taxes and you're paying for them to do that. Okay? So please, county residents, please take advantage of that. The city also opened up sandbags today over at Camping World Stadium because we had enough room over there at Tinker Field. And opened it up today. Tomorrow it runs like 7 to 7 or 6 to 6 or something like that. And it'll be open probably half a day on Wednesday morning, may go a little bit longer. 10 bags, and just bring your ID. We won't be nuts about it, but it's just for city residents, and just want to be aware of that. Other locations are all the things that we passed out, but the county locations are Barnett Park, which is relatively nearby, Bithlow Park, Clarkona Horse Park, Downey Park, Meadowwoods, and West Orange Rec. Those are pretty far away. There is tons of information, and I promise you, if you get a chance, you can go on and find hurricane preparedness tips, and you now will read them, and you now will remember them. Because we give away the books and we print them, and nobody does anything with them when we find them every place. So go on there and read that. You'll remember a couple of things. And all those things are there, I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to tell you a couple, 3 or 4 that are important to me. So the website, eBlast, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Get to us somehow, okay? We do have a localized radio station that we take advantage of. If power goes out, we have a self-powered radio station. That information is on those sites to get to that if you need to. Yard debris. We have tried to pick up all the yard debris we possibly can. People have called me and said, I cannot believe you guys are getting extra money here. You're not picking up my yard debris. And let me make sure you understand a couple of things. We didn't get any extra money, okay? We weren't declared a disaster area for Hurricane Helene, so we got no extra money. So we're picking up with our existing staff. And candidly speaking, we had it all kind of scheduled through this week to get everything off the streets, okay? And now here comes a hurricane. So just be careful. If you've got yard debris, if it's in your yard and hasn't been picked up by tomorrow afternoon, try to figure out what to do with it. If it's in bags or bundles, just stick it in your garage and put it back out when the winds are gone, okay? They become projectiles. Now, am I on Facebook? Mm-hmm. Okay, this is going to come back to me. It's going to haunt me, but I don't care. Okay, if you have a political sign in your yard, okay, take it down. And there are some signs who I would prefer to take down. But no, I'm just Facebook. I'm just teasing. Okay, but I will tell you that those signs become projectiles. So please do me a favor. I mean, we all think about the leaves and the sticks and that kind of stuff. As you look at your front yard, pretend there's a 100-mile-an-hour wind going through your front yard, and what's going to blow off, okay? And it's just kind of stay on that as best you can. All right, does that make sense to y'all? Okay. Last thing I'd give you as a recommendation, which you won't find anyplace else because I've gone through it a bunch of times. Take your camera, take your phone, and walk around your house and either walk through and do a video or take pictures. There's no telling what your house's condition is going to be. I promise you 98% of the people in our town will just have lost electricity and maybe lost a little bit of water, okay? The other 2%, I just don't know what 2% that's going to be. So do me a favor, just take pictures. I do that once a year anyway with my phone. I then download those pictures to my laptop, to my desktop, and I just put it in a file. So in case anything were ever happen, I'd say, that thing I owned, and it's right here, and here's proof that it was in my house, okay? So that's going to be helpful. Just do that, please. It's just not a big deal. Tomorrow's a great day to do it. It'll be a nice, you will not know that there's a hurricane coming tomorrow. You won't know that until tomorrow night. So take pictures, will you please? Will you do that? And second, before I introduce Milton, Hurricane Milton, sorry. Milton, I couldn't help it. Milton and I have become good friends in a short amount of time, and this is kind of add to our friendship, Hurricane Milton. So before I introduce him, are there any other questions that y'all have that I can help answer for you?
Robert, could you talk about the annexation of the Mormon ranch land? My position is, I'm not really for it, but I don't have much reason to be against it. And I'd like to hear from you, your position, and your thoughts.
Yeah, you don't have enough time. But I will tell you a couple things. First of all, there is a particular columnist that writes for a certain paper that has decided that Orlando is in a land grab. Okay, Orlando can't be in a land grab as against the law. Okay, so any annexation that comes to us has to come voluntarily by the landowners. So we were approached by the landowners about coming in. Okay, so the first question, if you would ask, if someone wants to bring in 54,000 acres of land, is ask the question, why? And the question why is because Orange County has, in my opinion, and I've told this through some very reliable sources within Orange County, they have treated these developers in a way that is not professional. They essentially cut a deal. Orange County and the developers cut a deal 7 years ago. And then a year ago, based upon the whim of politics, the county decided to change the agreement. Well, they had an agreement for 7 years. They've been working on this agreement for 7 years. And you don't treat anybody that way, okay? That's the scope that's there. One of the county commissioners came and spoke to the city and said, okay, I know here's the problem. The problem is the county was really screwed up, and it's really screwed up, but we've gotten better, so you shouldn't take this land into the city of Orlando. The answer is, well, you haven't gotten that better when this has occurred 3 months ago. Okay, so that's number one to let be aware of. The second is there's not a significant impact on city services. That's what the biggest concern is. What's the impact on city services? It's not a big impact because there's not a lot of city services that are required out there. We'll see the annexation agreement this week, and then we'll see what the details are. But essentially, we'll have to provide police and fire to a ranch. Well, right now, they're paying Orange County for police and fire. So, I mean, it's just not that big of a deal. The third thing about this property, which is interesting, this property has got that today they can go and put 5,300 units on this property without asking a question. They have to be one house per 10 acres. That's the requirement. And when they talked to us, we said, hey, that's a good idea. We're not doing that. We're going to find the best land to develop, and you can put your 5,300 acres there, and you're going to leave the rest of it pristine. That's how we did Lake Nona. That's how we're going to do the same thing with y'all, and that way it becomes much more of an urban area that you've got, and the rest stays pristine. Okay, they're not asking for anything that they haven't asked, that haven't been granted by the governor of Florida. I mean, in all honesty. Anyway, they came to us and said we want to do exactly what we're allowed to do by state law, and now the county won't let us do it. And we said, well, let's talk to you. And so we did, and there's a it's a long answer, I'll make it short. If you go to the YouTube, the City of Orlando City Council YouTube channel, and look for the meeting that was last meeting, September 27th or whatever it may be. Okay. Go look at that. It's in 2 different files, the first part of the meeting and the second part of the meeting. And if you're really interested, go and fast forward towards the end and hear the presentations that were made. And you also can hear all the comments that were made by other citizens. But hear the presentations and hear what they want to try to accomplish. And what's happening is the county has stopped them at every opportunity. And they've said this is not fair. The other stuff that came in, which we were having a dispute with Orange County on, the other stuff that came in, county came back and said, look, the city can't do this. And we said, here's a crazy idea. Where's your agreement? And they brought the agreement to us, 398 pages. And we said, we're going to make them do that. And they said, well, that's not good enough. Well, that's your agreement, not ours. We're not negotiating anything. They're going to come and build that here. They just want to do it faster than what you guys want to do based upon the whim of the politics. And those who have been complaining think that Lake Nona's great. There's a guy named Henry Swanson. Does everybody remember that name? Okay, all right. You know, one in the room, you and I remember him. Henry Swanson was a state legislator, and he got really involved about water, especially in Orange County. And he came back, and he was his own little prophet, and he would go to every Rotary Club he possibly could imagine. And Henry was a friend of mine, and of course not a friend of yours. And Henry would say over and over again, guys, do not mess with the land in West Orange County, because that land takes the percolation of water, and that's the best land in the guy. If you mess with that land, you block that land up, you're gonna ruin Orange County. I think he said that 50 years ago, okay, and I never forgot. Orange County comes in and creates Horizons West, and it is essentially taken all the pristine land, which was used for percolation of water to the water table, and said, okay, we're gonna build on this land. Why? Because it's high land. Why? Because it's a lot of sand, and I mean it's great land. So you got to be careful when you deal with it. And then all of a sudden they come to us and go, well, you're going to develop all this muck land. There's 54,000 acres in the Desiree Ranch, the ranch that wants to come in. There's about 3,000 that can be developed. Okay, you can't develop the rest. You just can't do it because it's muck land. It's the river land. You just can't do it. And so we are not asking that, but in the long answer, the short answer of all this is the city has come to us and said the county knows how to do urban development, not the city. And we said I don't think that's the case. I think we know how to do urban development. By the way, look at all the awards that Lake Nona has won, and they go, well, no, we look at Horizons West, and we go, yeah, look at Horizons West, and we've got two commissioners trying to. One's running for re-election and one's running against them, and they're running away from Horizons West as fast as possible because they know they screwed up. And so we're saying, don't do that. We know how to do plan development, and we can do it in a quick, modern way. Now, the dollars and cents is this. Anything the city develops, the county doesn't lose any revenue. I mean, y'all, you should have gotten your tax stuff, right? Okay. Everybody in this room pays 4.4 mils to the Orange County, right? Y'all know that? Yeah. Okay. Do you think you get your 4.4 mils from Orange County? You think you get it? Well, you may through the election supervisor. I mean, you get that helps pay for that.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's a little gift for you. But everybody pays that. So the faster that land gets properly developed, the more valuable it becomes, and the faster money goes to Orange County. It's kind of, I mean, everybody pays it. And so I believe that we can do a better job helping to address those issues. It is contiguous because we brought in a large portion that Tavistock had. Tavistock has done a bunch of stuff out there, and they're really talented, and they know what to do. And every developer, as much as you want to say, every developer who's in it for the long haul, in it for the right reasons, is developing land that they want people to buy. People don't want to come in and buy in that area, don't want to come in and buy high rises. So what they want to do is they want to buy 3- and 4-story apartments, they want to buy condos, they want to buy townhomes, they want to buy an urban area, but they don't want to have to buy a long, tall building. And at the same time, we have a downtown that we want to develop that in. So all that becomes part of that zone. So I'm leaning towards approving it because I just think we can do a better job with it than what we've seen and what Orange County has done, is my personal opinion. But if you want to hear all this stuff, go to the YouTube and, you know, if you got time just to watch those things. All right, other questions?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I haven't been to any of these meetings for a long, long time. I own a house on Harvard, and it's just a little north of Westmoreland. So, I hope I'm not telling you something.
You got problems with flooding?
The problem with the flood.
Right.
And I am very curious to learn more about what's going to happen because it appears that College Park has this problem in a lot of places.
As in 4 places?
4 places?
Yeah.
Where are those 4 places?
Well, there and there and there and there. And the reason is because the areas that are there are areas that are either lowlands or they're not lands, or land doesn't take percolation. And we have to go back and do some work on it. Part of the reason for the stormwater funds that we increased was to go and address those issues. And so we'll begin addressing those issues over the next next couple of years.
In the 70s or maybe in the 80s, my house, the house to the west of me, they installed a pool. That pool never should have been put there. the city allowed that to happen. And so now, we had flooding. The 3 houses to the east had flooding.
Yeah.
So they said they were gonna put a pump in, and they spent thousands of dollars putting this pump in.
Who is they?
The city. They spent thousands of dollars putting a pump in. They put another drain on the street, and they ran pipe to that thing, to that drain area and that area to take care of the water. And I was told that we were a part of that change. It wasn't later, but quite a few years, because we weren't having a big problem. But now, my backyard floods every time, and I learned that we were never added to that pump.
Don't know, send me an email with your address and I'll get an answer for you.
Well,
Yeah.
I talked to them one time, and they said, oh, no, you'll have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't follow up like they said, and I think it's a little unfair that now they expect me and from my family
Yeah.
to now spend a bunch of money that they should have done.
Were you there when they did the pump in, put the pump in?
Yes,
Okay. All right, send me the address, we'll go get the information on it. It is very unusual that the city would put any pump information to move water off private land. It's very unusual.
well,
Not impossible, just unusual.
No.
So, but the good news is they have better records than my memory. So, do me a favor, send me the address.
I will. I'll
okay?
be happy
And then
to.
we'll do the research on
I
it.
mean,
Here's the challenge that we have. We have an infrastructure underneath College Park and Thornton Park and, take your pick in the downtown core. That is infrastructure based upon standards that were 80 years old. Okay. And the standards today are not the same. I'll give you an example on Oak Street. Oak Street's got an 18-inch pipe underneath Oak Street leading down to Lake Adair. Okay. Today's standard would call for a 36-inch pipe. Okay. Now the reason for that is an 18-inch pipe only moves about 60% of the size of the pipe coming through. So it's only this big around, but only that much water is coming through, and it's coming through from Princeton going all the way down to Lake Adair. Not quite Princeton, but Lake Shady Lane. Okay. These are things I never wanted to learn when I was an elected official, by the way. But we have to. There's a lot of infrastructure we have to do, and a lot of the funding that we are looking to spend in the next 2 to 5 years is to retrofit older neighborhoods, especially College Park, especially Thornton Park, especially Park Lake. Those are the areas that we're working on because the standards just don't work anymore. And that little project to give you an idea, a little project on Oak Street, $1.8 million.
no, it's not cheap.
Yeah. So we have to go and be strategic about how we're moving forward. We've gotten some new study money. We're trying to figure out what are the best places to do that. Your area is uniquely different because your land used to be a bog, and they put land on top of it. So let's go on because I know we got something. One more.
It brings up a good point. Before the city can get to big projects like that, the city should not allow new homes to go in, a pool to go in areas where you know that there's a flooding problem, which obviously you know where the problems are. But I've seen houses where a new house went in and all of a sudden the neighbor's backyard started to flood. So,
I hear about them all the time. The
Yeah.
answer is we can't do that legally. If it's a standard, it's a standard. We haven't got a reason not to do that. That's a real fiduciary responsibility. I've been fighting to figure out how we get better at what we're doing. But for me to tell you you can't build a pool,
or make
Means I have to
the
pay you.
developers pay more. Yeah.
that's
that's
where
a
I'm
whole
looking at
nother
saying
thing. Yeah.
a
And-
pool impact fee may be $10,000
Right.
instead of being $2,000.
Yeah,
Well,
because
we
it's
gotta
gonna
figure out
cause
address it.
problems for the neighbors, and
Yeah.
I know his area is a problem. I have a question too about, I have a difference of opinion, I happen to agree with Scott Maxwell. Isn't the city doubling the size by annexing that property?
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
And it doubled the size when we brought in Nona.
yeah.
These
So-
arguments that Scott had are exactly the same arguments that were 25 years
Yeah.
ago.
And
And now we would say,
aren't the
well, it's the smartest
developers-
move we ever had.
Aren't the developers a little upset with Orange County because they're trying to protect some of the
No,
pristine
that's not
land?
why they're upset.
No?
They're upset because they cut a deal to protect them, and they came back and said, we want more. And the answer is, you cut a deal to protect them. Then go to negotiate, but that's not how they're being treated. They're being treated by, we're gonna tell you what the new standards are, but you got an agreement. I don't agree with Scott, and I wish Scott had listened. I would hope Scott would listen to the entire city council meeting so he could hear all the facts.
Yeah.
But for Scott to imply that I'm making money off the developers,
Oh, I didn't know he implied that. I'm
no, he
sorry.
said it. He didn't imply it.
Okay.
He said it.
Well,
And so.
That you
so
specifically were?
No, the city council is.
Oh, the city council.
So
Yeah.
I don't read him anymore.
Well,
So y'all tell me
I
what he
do-
says, and that's okay.
I do read him,
Yeah.
and I do agree
So-
with him about, everybody knows the city's very pro-developer, and I think the county was giving those developers, no matter how good you think they are, they're still developers, and they still want to make money, and they don't like somebody telling them that they can't build what they want to build. So they come to the city, where the city will tell them that they can do it.
And you and I disagree on that.
Okay.
I don't believe that occurs.
All right.
And I'm not.
I've seen it happen, but that's okay. We can
And
agree to disagree,
I understand, and we
Robert.
get to celebrate the next 100th anniversary,
Uh-huh.
and we're celebrating the 100th anniversary, and we're celebrating it because a developer built your house.
No, a builder built my house.
A developer came in and helped to put the roads in. I mean,
No,
so
I'm sorry.
so.
I know the
just-
history a
yeah,
little
so-
more than you, Robert,
so-
sorry.
So I'm just telling you, developers aren't bad. Developers do things that are bad, and they need to have a way to help it remedy and move quickly, and that's what, everything is, time is money to them. But
That's right.
you go to Nona, go to Nona and tell me if you think it's, I mean, the answer is all of us would love to live in Nona, except it's just so far away. And people are gonna wanna live in this place, but it's just so far away. Well, the good news is maybe that's,
I think that land out there, the Mormons, that land is beautiful land, and it can stay pristine as far as I'm concerned.
and it's gonna stay pristine as far as you're concerned, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, now let me introduce,
One quick question. I'm watching the time.
okay, I know you got somebody, these guys are much more important than me.
With the sandbags, is Orlando also one that you're required to bring your own shovel? I know the
Yes.
county is.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to point that out.
Bring your shovel.
Thank
Bring
you.
your shovel.
Go ahead.
Yeah. All right, so y'all know DeCarlos Hill. He was our District 3 liaison officer, and DeCarlos has been promoted to run training for OPD over at the Public Safety School, and he's the City of Orlando representative, and his job is to now train 40 potential officers every 8 weeks, I think, or 8 weeks, or could be 3 months. Anyway, so he moved to there, and so we tried to find the best person possible, and instead we found Milton. Just the name. I'm sorry, Milton. I wish I did. I wish it was. I wish I didn't. I can't call you Helene. I can call you Milton. Okay. So Milton has got a wonderful experience. Been with OPD. How many? 6 years. I was going to say 5. 6 years. Was in the SRO. Was SRO for Princeton Elementary. And when I've looked at a district liaison officer, I always wanted to have some other previous connection to our community, so they kind of know the people in our community. And we've been blessed with 3 very good ones, and we have another great one with Milton Sumter. So if you'll do me a favor, if you have one of DeCarlos' old cards, just use that main number. It will get right to Milton. And I've asked him to come up and just say a few words and introduce himself and answer any questions y'all may have.
Good evening, everyone. Like Commissioner stated, Corporal Milton Sumter, been an officer for about 12 years now. I work patrol, drugs, warrants, and like he stated, most recently SRO. So with that said, my goal is just to continue the established relationship within the community and law enforcement. So enough about me. Let's get to y'all. Y'all have any questions? It's not? Go ahead.
You say about there.
I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse my ignorance, but
No, it's okay. Go
what
ahead.
does SRO mean?
School resource officer.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
You know, it's all right. Right here at Princeton. So,
Thank you.
any more questions? No? Well, it's
How
a
are you
pleasure.
gonna handle him? That's what I wanna know.
That's a daily thing. We're working on that.
Okay, I will say one thing, to let you guys know, because I've said this before, and I've said it to every liaison, I've said it in front of every group. Milton works for you, doesn't work for me. I don't have a bodyguard. I don't have a driver, okay? His job is to be your liaison. That's what he does. He and I work together as a team to help provide the maximum level of support we can to each of you. But he doesn't work for me, okay? Now, odds are, if he does his job right, which he will, is that when stuff happens in the neighborhood, you're likely to hear from him before you even hear from me. Especially if you see vehicle break-ins and stuff that's happening in your neighborhood. He's monitoring that, and he's going to be getting that information out as quick as possible, and he's going to be following up on those calls. If something happens at your house and you want another connection inside OPD, Milton is your connection, because he's the one that can pick up the phone and say, here's what you got to do, and here's this, and if you're going to file this paperwork, here's where you file it. That he is your liaison officer. He's for District 3, not for the District 3 Commissioner. Does that make sense to all of you? Okay, we were driving the other day, and I'm a better driver than him. At least I know the back roads of College Park a little bit better. No, that's not true. He's actually passed the OPD driving. I have not. So, so I want you all to know that. So make sure you got that. So you get to him on my website. You can get to him through College's old cards. Okay.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you very much. And I'm sure we'll have more questions at different meetings, and I'll funnel them to you, so thank you. I am going to bring up the Warriors on Water. I keep wanting to say women, and I'm fighting it, and tonight I'm doing better. So the Warriors on Water, we have Julie Anastasia, right? And Jen Port, both here, along with Sally there you are. Sally Florasek, who is their president. So I'm going to have you guys come up and explain what you do. Sorry about the quick business. You said you didn't want the podium, right? So, okay. I'm going to scoot it over a little so they have a better shot at the screen, but it will still be here. Can you guys now all see? Perfect. Thank you.
I'm Julie Anastasia, and I'm one of the original members of Warriors on Water, and we are the only Central Florida breast cancer survivor drag boat team. So we practice off Lake Fairview, so that's really close to College Park. I technically live right outside College Park, so I don't get to benefit from everything, but I bank in here and I come to the establishment, so I love College Park. I too have been around since early. We technically, my family moved here right before Hurricane Donna, so my mother remembers that one quite well. So I've been around a long time as well. But this is from our from our website, and these are some of the pictures through the years. We actually started in 2000. Go ahead. We actually started in 2009, and I was diagnosed in 2004, and I had played softball and grown up a jock basically. So when somebody said, "Hey, you want to join this team?" I'm like, "Sure." I had no idea what it was, and so we go to this meeting, and it was brand new sport for Central Florida. No other dragon boat teams were here. So then, go ahead. I'm going to backtrack. Sorry. So dragon boating has been around more than 2,000 years. And in 1976, they kind of made it more of a competitive sport in Hong Kong area. And so then we can have a 10-person boat or a 20-person boat. And the 10 obviously is only 10 paddlers. And then you've got a drummer and you've got a steers person. So that's a 20-man boat right there. And so you try to paddle in synchronicity with one another. We say we're on a 41-foot canoe on steroids. That's how we kind of tell people. And so the steers person's in the back, we have the drummer up front, and the drummer either relays what the steers person is telling us for commands or for just motivation, or the drummer also has to try to keep cadence. So the first two paddlers are considered stroke, and so that person is trying to, hit the drum at the time that we go in the water. I happen to be one of those stroke persons. And then everybody else is supposed to keep in time. So the goal is to paddle in synchronicity with one another to get across the line. But with breast cancers, in 1996, Dr. Don McKenzie I think it says in the next screen, he's from Canada, and he figured out that for breast cancer survivors, this was a great sport. It helped to prevent lymphedema. So if you've had lymph nodes taken out in your surgeries and stuff, you had a chance of your arm swelling and just causing you issues. So he went ahead and found out that yes, this lymphedema is great. It helps against that. All the girls, women, just love being together, supporting one another. Whether we all have different stories, right? We all had different surgeries. We all had different cancers. It's just crazy. So the loss of, you actually have control when you're on the boat, right? When you're going through surgeries, you don't have control. You have to give up and just let people do their thing. So it has helped a lot with mental support for the years and stuff. Okay. And right now there's at least 345 teams across 6 continents. And we were the 3rd breast cancer survivor team in the state of Florida. There's now over 8 teams. So, Tampa was first, Miami was second, and Orlando was 3rd. So now we just, everybody has fun. It is a sport. We do exercise. And then the part of the dragon boating, every 4 years, we kind of had a 5th year because of COVID. There's an international festival. And it's a participatory event, but we still want to do well. It's not like we just go for the heck of it. So we have to fundraise, we train, and we have a good time at the same time as well. So since we started in 2009, we luckily got a grant really quickly in 2010. And so we got to the first one in Peterborough, and it was so exciting. And then in 2014, it was like in our backyard at Sarasota, and it was like, well, that's no fun. But we did really well. We placed 9th in the world at that point, so that was pretty exciting. And then in 2018, that picture was taken in Florence, Italy, and some of us got to be part of that team. And then some of us just went to New Zealand. So I've been to 2010, 14, 18, and 23. And the next one's going to be in 2026 in France. And so I'm going to be part of that team too, God willing. So our mission is to create, inspire, and sustain a community of breast cancer survivors who share in the empowering, therapeutic, and symbolic sport of dragon boating. We compete with heart and strength, work together with synergy, purpose, and laughter, collectively reach out to others, provide unconditional love and support, and share a bond that reaches far beyond the cancer experience. We find that giving back to the community is an important part of our healing process, as anyone diagnosed with breast cancer, as well as supporters, are welcome to join us for fun, friends, exercise, and support. We do an annual Friends and Family Day, so you can always come and actually get on the boat and try it out if you want to during that time. But in order to paddle with us, we mostly do race under the breast cancer division, so therefore you couldn't paddle at that time. But if we race like in the women's division, then you could. So it is kind of open. And there has been some men, a couple men breast cancer survivors that we've run into, and they just haven't gotten on our team, so that's unfortunate. But this was like in the beginning, when we had no paddles, no boats. This was like the first meeting. We all sat there and we were, okay, what are we doing? So, and then somebody said, oh, I've got a pool, and we got paddles. Okay, let's practice at the pool. And then after that, we wound up going up to Mount Dora because our coach, yep, this is our coach. She was the original coach, and she kind of went on and had, made her own team and things. And then we had another coach, and now Grace is back with us. And so Grace is going to get us to France. So we're happy she's back. But yeah, so now I'm going to have Jen come up and talk maybe.
Very good.
So I think we were just going to go around between us and just give a little background of how each of us ended up on the team, how long we've been paddling with the team. So I think I am probably the newest member of the team. I think I joined mid-June, so only a few months, June or July. I was diagnosed with breast cancer at age 34, so about 9 or 10 years ago. And like Julie said, I think the team just kind of helps bring everybody together. Like everyone on the boat has had similar experiences, different diagnosis, different treatment plans, but it's nice knowing that that group of 20, 25 women that you're with 2-3 times a week all kind of know what you're going through. So I know for me, even though it's brand new, I think it's already made a huge difference just on my day-to-day, just in my mental well-being, just knowing that there are other women out there that have gone through the same thing, and we can all kind of commiserate about it, joke about it. I mean, if you can't joke about it, right, you kind of have to. But yeah, I think just even in the short time period that I've been on the team, I think it's 100% been a great experience, and I can't wait to see how many years we do this together. And now I think it's Justine's turn.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having us here. This is really exciting for us to be here first time. I am a 4-time cancer survivor. I was diagnosed when I was 18 years old with Hodgkin's disease. And 20 years later to the day, all the radiation I had caused my breast cancer.
Can we have you use the microphone?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I thought my voice was kind of loud enough.
Facebook can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? So that being said, I was diagnosed with my first breast cancer 20 years later, almost to the day. And one day my neighbor came over and had lunch, and she says, I go, what are you doing? And she says, I'm on this dragon boat team. You want to come? And I said, absolutely. I've been on since 2014. I joined. And of course, I am the fundraising chair. I do a lot of the events. So I have a lot to tell you. And before I tell you anything, how many of you in here know someone who has breast cancer? Raise your hand. So please, if you know them and you want to talk about it, invite them to our team. We're called Warriors on Water. We're on the internet. We're all over. And so I have little items here, some of our paddles, and you can feel how lightweight this paddle is. This is what we use when we're dragon boating. You can feel that this is a lightweight one. So we do races that are 500-meter races, 250-meter races. So we have seat cushions as well to protect our butts. Because sometimes when you're sitting on here's one of our seat pads, just so you can see it. So when we're sitting on the boat, we really need those butt pads. So because we're racing and you're going, we're using all of our strength. And I am not an athlete. There's nothing athletic about me, but when I'm on the boat, I feel like one. So it's very exciting, and really we're here to tell you, please encourage people to come and look us up, because we have a camaraderie between us that is very rare, actually. And these are my sisters. These are my friends. I just recently had a relative in town, and she says, man, don't worry about your family. You got all these gals that take care of each other. So that being said, we have a fundraiser because I am the fundraising chair. By the way, we are a nonprofit. We are a 501(c)(3), so we are a nonprofit. And we are having a pink bingo every October. As you know, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we're going to be at the local Orlando Moose Lodge on 441. So if you'd like to come out and play some bingo, win some money, we would love to have you there. Where there's going to be raffles, there's going to be 50/50s, all kinds of fun.
Say the date, Justin.
October 20th, I'm sorry. But you can come up, take a picture. We only have a few copies, so you can come up and take a picture. And we have a meat bingo that was supposed to be tomorrow night, but due to the hurricane, it's not going to be going on. So keep a lookout for that. It's going to be in Sanford at Hollerbox. So we're always doing something like that. And this, by the way, is our vest that we wear, one of them. We also have the waist vest that we do like to wear a vest. And one more thing. Do you guys have any questions about the team? Is there anything that you want to know?
How do you get the boats when you go overseas?
Actually, the festival organizers always supply the boats for us. So we don't really transport our boat, even though we transport our boat to fundraising. So we just had a fundraiser this weekend at the Y in Dr. Phillips, which was really exciting. So Julie gave me these because we're also doing another fundraiser. And this fundraiser, though, is you can have a chance to win a cruise raffle. It's $20 a ticket or $6 for $100. So if you know anybody that would like to purchase one tonight, I've got a few left. So, and we will be announcing this in December. So it's a great gift. For $20, you can possibly win a cruise. So, which is exciting. You're laughing, but it's true. So I think really that's all I have to say. Yes, ma'am.
How often do you compete?
Well, we practice twice a week. We practice on Wednesday nights on Lake Fairview at the VFW, and then we practice Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock at the same place. That's where we dock our boat. That's where we have all of our supplies and everything. But we'll be in Turkey Lake on the 12th. And there's a big breast cancer division, and that's our home team, so we're definitely there. There's going to be, I think, like 60 teams competing. There's senior women, senior men's, community teams, and things like that. So, but we're going to be there as Waters on Water. And then there's Lake Hernando, which is November 2nd, I think. Yes, but if you guys want to come out and watch us, it would be amazing. Turkey Lake on the 12th. God willing, with this hurricane and everything like that. But I think I could talk and talk, but I don't want to bore you anymore. But just really, we're here so that you know about us and you could tell somebody. Tell somebody, hey, there's a group of gals over there. And we need paddlers. We need more women to be on our boat. We want to grow this sport. We want to grow the camaraderie. Really. So that's why thank you so much for having us here, Mike. I really can't thank you enough because that's the only way we're going to get the word out. And we are, like I said, a nonprofit, so we are looking for grants. We're looking for sponsors of any companies you know of. Would like to have their name on our shirts or on our boat. We can do it. Okay? So just keep that in mind. So thank you so much. Again, my name is Justine. I hope anytime you guys want to come out to the boat, look us up and we put you on there anytime. Thank you, Mike. I'm going to let you put that away. Got it? Thank you. Oh, and by the way, I have one more thing to say. So take the mic, okay. We're just so passionate about the team that we call it Bit by the Dragon. So when a newbie like Jen comes on and she likes it, but then all of a sudden she wants to come back and we say, you've been bit by the dragon. So that's all I wanted to say.
Well, thank you all for coming out tonight. This was great to learn about this, and it's right here in our backyard. So appreciate that. I am going to run through a few things and try my best to, that clock's a few minutes fast, I think, so I have a few extra minutes. Some dates to remember, that's on the handout that you guys have. November 4th, that is our general membership meeting. I don't know if we're gonna have any speakers or just do our business. I think we have time for one, so. But that is any CPNA member that's active, meaning you're up to date, can attend and vote for the 2025 Board of Directors. I do have to mention, we're short one position. We need a president. So I'm not going anywhere. I will stay on the board, but the bylaws call for me to step down. My wife calls for me to step down. And there are some things I've been wanting to pursue, but I put them on hold for 3 years, and I'm not getting any younger. So I'd sort of like to do that. So that being said, if you know anybody that would like a leadership position within the organization, please let me know, because we really need that. December 2nd will be our final community conversations meeting of the year. Details for what we're going to do there will be announced shortly. Commissioner Stewart had to leave, but I did want to mention on the handout, there's another website. It's orlando.gov/storm tracking Milton, and that gets you directly to all the city announcements about sandbags, or if your area is flooding, here's the number to report it. You know, that type thing. So that's a good one to keep handy. I'm going to switch over to my other page because for some reason I put some on one and some on the other. October 12th, hopefully this is still going on with the storm, but October 12th from 9 to 1, if you have anything electronic or textile sitting around the house that you would like to recycle, they will be doing that. That's right down by the executive airport. You can go to the city website under events, and that's where that's listed. Something that Mr. Hodge is interested in. November 6th through 11th, election sign recycling. So definitely they can recycle. The plastic is actually taken to a plant, I believe in Plant City, and it is compressed and made into fuel that then some different, I can't remember exactly who, but one big corporation over there uses it to fuel their machinery. The metal is recycled stands, so the Orlando.gov events also has all the different areas or locations you can drop that off. One of my favorites, because I am a self-proclaimed parade geek, November 9th is the 2024 Veterans Day Parade downtown. You will find me there. I don't care if it's raining. I don't care what's going on. I'll be there. It's a great parade. Go out, support the veterans. So definitely put that on the calendar. Tickets go on sale, or tickets are on sale now, for March 1st, the 100th birthday celebration from our friends over at the Historical Society. They have tables and for sale right now. Get a group of your friends together, and it's going to be a great night. Lots of historic information, music, hopefully some historical photos and videos. So all that, definitely something to look forward to. Get your tickets before they sell out. Again, I want to mention the business members that, well, on mine it's stapled, but it's on the back of yours. They support us, and so I ask that if you get a chance, if you have a reason, you're looking for a certain vendor, check those out. They would be happy to help you. And last but not least, does anybody have any questions for me? Y'all want to get out of here, don't you? Stop by up at the table, check out the different things that she pointed out, and I appreciate everybody being here tonight. Hopefully it's not raining. So, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you.